DG, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Obviously, you're head of the civil service, so my first question to you is, what has the civil service been doing to support the Cayman Islands over the last 2 months during the COVID-19 crisis?
So thank you very much for having me. I want to say how incredibly proud I am to be Deputy Governor and head of the civil service during this time. If there was any doubt about our vision of being a world-class civil service, seeing how the civil service has responded to this epidemic has been fantastic. We have really proved that we can rise to the occasion, that we can be world-class. So our continuity of operations plans have been working on for many years now, and we had an opportunity now to put them into force, and I must say they worked very well. So we immediately stood down, had people work from home, and again, that has gone very well. Our planning department has been improving building permits from home. We would never thought that was possible. In my office, applications for naturalizations are being processed. I think we have done 200 or 300 applications during the last couple of months. Work is still doing work permit applications. I could go on. There's so much work happening behind the scenes. Our Ministry of Financial Services has continued their operations to support our financial industry. Our police officers, our CBC officers, our firemen, the hospital workers have all risen to the occasion and put their life on the line for us, out there every day, making sure that they're keeping us safe. So I think the civil service has done a fantastic job of stepping up. The collaboration with the private sector, the collaboration with the wider public service has been fantastic. It's been a real Team Cayman effort, and I think we have done exceptionally well.
We're starting to look now towards the future, cautiously, optimistically. Can you tell us a little bit about what the civil service is doing to support the reopening of the economy?
Right. So we had a fantastic day yesterday where we could release some of the restrictions on Little Cayman. We're now hoping that we'll be able to do the same for Cayman Brac later on this week, and of course, Grand Cayman at some point. So our message has been to be prepared. So we are planning doing a lot of work planning for the reopening of our economy, reopening of the civil service. So we have a team working with there's a private sector team, there is a team led by Minister Hugh, looking at how we reopen the economy. So the civil service is working closely with those teams to ensure that we have a joined up plan. So, for example, we are now looking at maybe opening construction in a couple of weeks. That means that civil service departments like planning and other agencies will now need to sort of come back to work and move things along more quickly. For example, building inspections, electrical inspections. So those units will have to mobilize to support the reopening of that sector. So again, we are putting a lot of effort in ensuring that when a sector of the economy is open, the civil service is poised, ready to support that. And our planning and our rollout systems have been doing very well. I want to just single out the post office. They sort of came on board last week. And again, their rollout has been done exceptionally well. It was done in consultation with their staff. People didn't realize how important the post office was to our overall economy, and just people being able to get their checks and their mails and keeping the continuity of our operations going. But they see now, and I want to thank the Postmaster General and her team for the efficient way they roll out their reopening.
And this new way of working that we're in now, it looks quite different to the old way that we were used to. What changes has the civil service made specifically to adjust to this new way?
Well, I think we've really forced ourselves to innovate much faster than we thought that we could do, for example. So my chief officer, Ms. Gloria Mayfield-Nixon, has been telling me, our strategic plan that talked about improving customer service, some of the things that we thought was going to happen in December has happened. Now we've been forced to innovate. So we have found that we can do a lot more services online. We have found that we don't need to have a stack of files in front of us to make a decision. You can use one piece of paper. So there's been so many sort of moments of magic where we have been forced to innovate and continue the operation. So this morning, I watched the Court of Appeal in progress, hearing the appeal on the port project. I watched that this morning. That is happening as we speak. It's all being done by Zoom. So we have been able to do some fantastic work to ensure that the continuity of government, the continuity of business has continued, and I'm very proud of that.
Rightly so. Now we know that as Deputy Governor you wear many hats. You're Chair of the National Hazard Management Council and the Policy Group. You're also a member of the NHM Executive and NEOC and Cabinet. How do you manage to juggle all of those roles at once?
Well, I say this and I really mean this, is that I have an amazing team around me. I have an amazing group of chief officers who support me every day, and that has sort of come right down to senior people in the ministries and at the department level, who all are just working together to make my job a lot easier. So we start our meetings. First of all, there's no delay. So I have a 4-minute window. I don't wait anything more than 4 minutes, and then we start. Normally we start bang on time. So it sounds like that's not important, but when you're dealing in a situation like this, we can't have people waiting around doing nothing. So we want to be first of all, be very efficient with our time. And then because I juggle a lot of hats, is to make sure that I delegate, I empower the team to make decisions. I have persons who can step in for me when it can't be two places at once. So I must say it's been a really great team effort. And from cabinet all the way down to the NEOC, which sort of keeps everything running, it has been going exceptionally smooth. We have a 3 o'clock meeting with the senior leadership team every day to look at what decisions need to be made. Can we make those decisions? Do they need to go to cabinet if there are wider policy considerations? And that system of having the NEOC meeting in the morning with over 100 people looking at what's happening across the entire island, across the various sectors, identifying any issues, having them resolved, same day, has worked exceptionally well. We have to ensure in these situations that there's always someone willing and able to make the decision that needs to be made when it needs to be made. And I think that has worked exceptionally well.
And we're looking now, we talked about the future, the reopening of the economy. I wonder if you have any words of reassurance for civil servants who might be reluctant to return to work, fearful of the virus, fearful of their families. Have anything reassuring to say to them?
Absolutely. First, I want to tell civil servants again how very proud I am of them, of how they have really stepped up. I have seen persons go from being an HR consultant to a hotel manager at one of our isolation facilities. So the redeployment of our staff has been tremendous. People have stepped up. They have, given up their time. They put their health on the line by going and working in these different places. It has been tremendous. So we do not take your service for granted. We want to ensure that when you do return, first of all, you're consulted, you're informed, and you're protected. So we want to make sure that there's no rush to come back to work tomorrow. We want to make sure that we're doing this in a very structured way, like I said, in consultation with staff, and to ensure then that we have proper PPE, personal protection equipment for people for when they return, so that we protect them as well as their customers. So we know, there's not a lot of social distancing in this building, for example. You're sitting right next to someone. So we're looking at how we have phased reopenings, possibly shifts, so that not everyone is at the ministry at the same time or at the department at the same time. We can still have people working from home. I mean, people are calling me saying, Mr. Manderson, I miss the office. I miss my colleagues. So we understand that, but we want to keep your health and safety and the safety of our customers and the people who we serve at the forefront, and to make sure that everyone understands that we have their back. We are not going to expose them to dangerous situations where they're coming back with no plan and no protection.
Absolutely. Was there anything else that you wanted to say?
But I think, just a huge thank you to the community, because we can make all the decisions here. You've seen the very decisive decisions that our elected leaders have taken during this crisis, and it's been fantastic. It's really been a really great effort by all of us, from the Premier, down to our garbage collectors, who are doing a fantastic job. But again, without the support of the Caymanian people and all of us in the Cayman Islands, we would not be where we are today. If the people in Little Cayman did not make the sacrifices that they made, they would not be being released yesterday. Same with Cayman Brac, and hopefully for Grand Cayman. So my message is to stick with it, continue to listen to the advice of the Premier and our Governor and our Minister of Health, continue to support them, and I'm certain that one day we will join the people in Little Cayman and Cayman Brac and being released safe and sound, and come back even stronger.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.